What's going on, everybody? Thanks for stopping by my channel today. My name is Daryl, and of course, we're in my shop again today. So what brings me in here? Well, in the last video, we recapped 4 boards on the MSF5000. We put the boards back in there. We had a really good carrier, nice, clear, crisp carrier, and some nice audio. We still didn't have any final amplifier, but everything else seemed to be okay, so we're making headway. Well, I said in that video I was going to leave the repeater running because if there was going to be anything that was going to happen to it, like a component short or fail or something like that, that we would find this out. Well, it ran the rest of that day after the video, and then the next day I came out and turned it on, and it was running, and as I was at my workbench, I heard a tick sound, tick. So I went back and looked at it, and of course, the VCO, power to the VCOs was gone. So no lock light or anything, they were gone. No power to the lower RF board. The RF board itself had no power. So let me turn the camera around and, oh wait, before I go on, that's to be expected with these old radios and repeaters and things like that. Don't get these things thinking there's not going to be any problems. You saw that we had to replace all the electrolytics on the machine and on those boards, and I have more electrolytics to change. Things are old, they're old. So that's part of the fun, is getting these old things running and not sending them off to the recycler or to be melted down or whatever. Let's keep using them as long as we can. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you what's going on. Okay, we're in front of the repeater, and you can see that I got it back open again. And what happened was I was at the workbench and had this thing running, and I heard a tick sound like a real quiet tick. And of course, that brought my attention to the repeater, and I came over. And when I came here, I noticed that my lock lights for my VCOs were not lit anymore. So this one here and this one here were not lit anymore. The controller was powered, but these LEDs weren't lit. So right away, it made me think that I had a power issue down here on the uni board. So this repeater has, if we look up here at the power supply, this is the main transformer, and this repeater requires, I believe, 3 different voltages to operate. One is 3.8 volts, one is 9.6, and the other is 5 volts. So down here on the uni board, I came over to these different connections here, and these are basically, some of them are feed-throughs that come from the interconnect board underneath this board, and they distribute the power to the repeater. So I came down to some test points, or some connections down here, and checked for my 13.8 volts, and I had nothing. And I had nothing over here at the IPA. So basically my whole tray down here has no power to it. So I pulled the uni board out and just make sure nothing happened with the caps that I put in or anything, and everything seemed fine. Underneath, I pulled the uni board from underneath, and down on the uni board is where our 5 volts comes to life. Okay, 13.8 volts comes down, and there's a voltage regulator down there, a voltage regulator circuit down there that creates the 5 volts. And then over here on my uni board is where my 9.6 volts is created. And 13.8 volts comes up, it's in this pass through here, comes up from the casting, and then there's this connector goes underneath the casting down here and comes up and plugs in here. So I got 13.8 volts coming in. I also got 9.6 volts coming out if everything is working right. So right now I have nothing. So I found in the interconnect board down there that the 5 volt regulator was shot, which I saw no other damage down there, so why did that go? If that goes, that doesn't mean that's the reason why the rest of it is gone. All right. So I buzzed out everything up here and everything seemed to be fine. I checked my cable that comes up from down here. This cable here goes down to the interconnect board down here. It's underneath down here, down underneath here. I can barely see it, I think. And there was no power coming down there, okay? So power comes in here. Sorry, power comes in on this cable, goes through these circuits here, gets regulated. So coming off this board is 13.8 volts. There's a main 13.8 volts, and there's a auxiliary, okay? So I have none of that. So my cable's good going down to the uni board, but I have no power coming off this. So I do have power coming off the main transformer. I got power here, but I got nothing. I got power here, but nothing here. So that means our problem is in this power distribution board, or regulator board, whatever you want to call it. And down here is a little green light that lights to tell you that everything is okay, and that light is on. So we know it's not okay. So let's pull this board out of here, and I'll bring it up to the bench, and we'll take a look at it there. Okay, we have our board here on the bench, and we're going to check out these fuses here to see if the fuses are good. So let me get my multimeter running here, and we'll check these fuses. All right, and let's turn to continuity. All right, so we'll check these. Good, good. These are fuses too. Good, good, and good. So everything looks good fuse-wise. So let's take a look at it and see if we see any physical damage. I don't. Everything looks good here. Let's see here. Not a whole lot of components down there. We got the tantalum capacitor there. And oh yeah, I got something blue here and something blue here. And I don't see anything else. Alright, so what could that be? CR602, CR603. These are surface mounted. They look like the way they're configured that they may be diodes here. The good thing is they blew and they didn't destroy the board, so that's a good. That's less work for me. So let's take a look at the schematic. I'll see if I can find a schematic for this board, and we'll take a look at the schematic and see what these do. Here, looking at the schematic, and this is our main transformer here, and these are all the different taps that are coming off. So our main 13.8 volts comes off the red tap here, number 7, and then I've gone in already and pulled these wires off and checked our voltage on each one of these taps. Like I checked across the blues, across the yellows, and the red, just to make sure that our voltages were good. So our main transformer seems like it's okay. All right. And then I pulled the wires off each one of these diodes and checked those in our matrix here and made sure those were okay, and they are okay. So everything checked out okay for this circuit here. I did not check here. I did not check these, but I am getting the proper voltage out here, so I'm fairly certain everything is going to be okay. Okay, and then you can remember down here is our 13.8 volts, and we come across and then we split off to a main and auxiliary here. So remember, we got two 13.8 rails coming down to the RX, or the RF board or tray, whatever you want to call it, and the control tray. And then we got AC coming across through these two. They are not, you can see that they don't go through this matrix here. So there's still AC here, and then 28 volts here. So everything looks good as far as voltages. All right, and as we keep moving, you can see back where our 13.8 volts split off. We come down here, go through a fuse, come down here, and then go through a fuse, and then right here is our main and auxiliary 13.8. So I've lost one of them, okay? So we'll back up. This one here is the one I still have, okay? So let's find out which one that is. That's main, okay? So I still have main. Now all this in here is our board that we're going to work on. And that's all for current protection and voltage protection for the power supply. All right, so somewhere, right, here's the two diodes that we lost. And this one here, when I get my diodes in, I'm going to replace this one too. And so something happened in here, and you can see that that's tied in to this 13.8 rail here. So something happened in here and took out our power here. So that's most likely why we're not getting power, is because of this. Now, if something just failed in here on its own, and we fix the board and everything is okay, that's what I'm hoping happens. But if something else is wrong, either upstream that way or downstream this way, that way, then we're going to find out eventually. So right now, when these two 13-volt rails lines come out of this connector here, they go right down to the interconnect board, which I've looked over and I haven't found anything wrong with it besides that regulator, but you never know. So there still could be something wrong on one of our uni board or on our control board. I really don't know. I have not seen any components that were having issues or anything like that, so we'll just try to get our power restored back to those two areas on the repeater, the RF board, the RF section, I guess, and then the control board. So that's where we're at right now. So let's go up to the bench and we'll take a look at what we need to do there on that board, and maybe check some things out there on that board. Okay, we have our board here on the bench, and I'm going to put a little solder on this right, or a little flux on here a little bit. And I got my soldering iron going here. Let's bring over some solder. And we'll see if we can get this off without destroying it. Yeah. Well, let me bring down my magnifier so I can see what I'm doing. All right. They bent over the pins, which I don't like. Okay. All right, we got it out. I don't see any physical damage to it. It's a Motorola part, so let's do me a favor here and try not to damage this. Just try to straighten the legs a little bit. All right. Let's see if these will fit in here at all. Looks like it. There you go. Damaged. So this is no good. So my thought was right. But that doesn't mean that's the only one that's bad. Okay. Okay. I'm going to pull out 603 here. Check it. My magnifier down here where I can see. All right. I don't like it when they bend them over like that. I don't know if I can get my finger in there to get this out. I don't want to crush it. Ah, there we go. Let's straighten the legs. Now, even though that part was bad, that doesn't mean that's the root cause of what happened. Let's try this one. That says it's damaged. Huh. Alright. Let's make sure that's going down in there all the way. This little thing here has given me some troubles. Need to take it apart or something, I don't know. But that doesn't always close. See, it's not, it's got issues. Let's put this thing back here. Yeah, see, this thing's got issues. I might have to buy a new one of these. Let's try it again. There we go. Well, that just makes me think that we should try that other one over there. If this wasn't closing tight. Ah, this thing. All right, let's try it. Yeah, it's good. All right. Lesson learned. All right, so those two are good, so they can go back in. All right. So let's pull out Q603. We'll just check all these transistors and see if they're okay. So let's put a little flux on it. Like that. I always add a little bit of solder to really give the solder sucker something to grab a hold of. Still not enough. There we go. Really get some heat in there. Got these bent over. Very touchy. Oh. Yeah, look what I just did. Just burnt myself. So when they do that, we go for some low melting point solder. And I just burnt myself. Darn it. Dang. I burned myself more in that gun than anything else I got. There. That thing, man. No, that's going to leave a mark. So let's clean out the holes on this right away. I'm shaky today. I don't know why. I think that's part of the problem. Okay, got the holes cleaned out. All right, let's clean up our mess we made here. We'll have to clean all that off. All right. It says it's okay too. All right, let's see. So, all of our transistors seem to be okay. So there's not a whole lot on this board that could go bad. The voltage comparator could be bad. I do not have one of these. So let me, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to replace all of these transistors in here in this voltage comparator, because there's not a whole lot in here, and I'll go through and check all these resistors and make sure they're okay. It's possible these two transistors or this tantalum is bad, so I'll have to order all these parts here. So yeah, what a bummer. So I will I got to order these two diodes, and I'll order this tantalum, and I'll order the comparator and these other transistors and just replace them. And then I'll also have some spares if something happens and I have to rebuild this board again, I can. But yeah, it may be this that's bad. So something on this board is bad, and I'll check all these resistors, and then this comparator I'll switch when I get a new one. In this tantalum, in the two diodes. Could it have just been the diodes bad? Yes. So maybe what I'll do is I will, when the parts come in, I'll switch out my transistors, I'll switch out these diodes, and then I will put the board back in and see if that brought it back to life. But right now I have no parts for this, so yeah, I wish I had a whole spare board. That would be nice. But once I get it, once I get the parts in, I'll power this up on the bench and just see what I got here. But it's a good possibility this comparator is bad. There's not a whole lot to this, and I don't see any other physical damage, so I'll have to go through here and check all this. But right now, it is what it is. So we'll have to order these. Yeah, what a bummer. What a bummer, I burnt myself. It's not bad. I didn't go all the way through, but it did turn the outside of my skin white. I think this is the second time I've burnt myself on camera. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I probably will reinstall these transistors and just order the parts. And I'll put in these two diodes and see if it comes back to life. And if it does, I'll have spare parts, which is always good. And maybe I can come up with another one of these boards somewhere. I did search online for it on eBay and a couple other places, but I couldn't find one. So, what a bummer. But this board here would not be a hard board to reproduce if you wanted to. So I could always make my own. But yeah, so that's what I think our problem is. This is what's stopping voltage from getting down to the uni board, the interconnect board, and then the uni board, and all the other boards. So it's quite possible that I have a problem upstream too with those rectifier diodes. They could be bad, or at least one could be bad. So if I can get it running and if I can fix this board, get it back running again, I'll know that whatever happened was right here at this board. Like I didn't screw up anything on the uni board, and everything downstream of this is good, which is what I want to know. Is there any other problems that I have? So I would repair this, get everything running again, and then go back and maybe look at those diodes. Maybe that's something that I would just want to replace, and then I don't have to worry about it. Because we all know that this repeater has been sitting around for a long time. It's seen a lot of use, and these components are old, so it might be something that we do. Just get that replaced. Replace those rectifier diodes. Get them out of there. All right. So that's about all I can do today until I get these parts in. All right. Well, we had kind of a short video today. I just wanted to give you kind of an update of what's going on with this repeater. And I got a bunch of other things to do. So I'll probably make videos on those. But, what a bummer, this thing, It was running really good, and then this happened. So that's to be expected with this stuff. I mean, like I said, it's been sitting around a long time, and you don't know, what it's gone through. I mean, this thing was probably plugged in during every lightning storm they ever had. Maybe it was plugged into UPS, maybe it wasn't. Who knows? I don't know the history. I don't know the history after it went out of public safety use and came onto the private market. Did the club that we got it from, did somebody else have it before them and tinker around with it? I don't really know. But anything could happen, so, we'll get it fixed, and we'll get it running and get past this point. And then we'll do our alignment of the whole repeater, and then we'll connect it up to the controller. So, what a bummer. It happens. You can't get mad about it. That's why I have so many things going on at once now. This will be pushed off for a couple of days until I get the parts in. And then when I get the parts in, I'll make another video and post that. So we'll see if we can get this baby running. I want to get it done and out of my shop. Get it to work. But anyway, thanks for being here today. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that a lot. If you want to keep notified of this repeater project here, definitely hit the bell notification. That helps a lot. I know I watch a lot of channels that I have the bell notification activated on, so whenever they post a video, I know about it. But I really do appreciate the subscribers. That means a lot to me, that you would subscribe to me and want to see the videos I make. I appreciate that a lot. And leave me a thumbs up. That's always great. That lets me know that you do enjoy the content. And give me some suggestions on what you would do going forward with this board and this repeater. If you've ever worked on one of these before, and maybe you have some ideas of what might have went wrong here. Was it just on this board alone, or did something cause that to happen? I'm almost wondering if that rectifier in there, those diodes, one of those diodes maybe going bad or something. So before I put power back to this board, I will check that and make sure we got the proper voltage coming to this board. And like one of those diodes shorted or something like that, or went open, who knows. So I will check that out though. So I'll order the parts and we'll get it in here, and when I get them in, I'll make another video. Thanks for being here today, and I really do appreciate it, and I hope you stay warm wherever you are, and go have a pizza. That's always fun too. Later.